Hi, I'm Peter Twist. Hockey is a high-speed collision sport that requires well-conditioned athletes. This DVD provides demonstrations of conditioning tests, drills, and exercises from my book, Complete Conditioning for Hockey, that will help your athletes develop the speed, power, agility, and balance to help them compete successfully. By seeing these exercises performed, you'll have a better understanding of how to coach and teach them. In addition to specific instruction on how to set up and perform the drills, I'll provide you with teaching tips for detecting common athlete errors in some of the exercises. I'll also give you some corrective cues to help the athletes improve their performance during the drills.
Strong stride, stay low.
The combination of on-ice and off-ice conditioning exercises will help you develop an effective training program that will help your athletes develop the physical tools they need to be successful. Good luck and good training.
The repeat sprint skate test consists of 6 maximum speed sprints of 91.5 meters repeated every 30 seconds. To begin, a player is positioned behind the goal red line.
3, 2, 1.
On the whistle, the player sprints to the far goal line. Stops, reverses direction,
All the way, all the way.
and sprints to the blue line closest to the starting goal line.
3.
This test
2,
uses 2 timers. The first timer stands at the far red line and times how long it takes the player to sprint from red line to red line.
All the way, all the way.
The second timer on the blue line times the sprint from beginning to end. The player completing the sprint must be ready at the red line for another sprint interval at the end of the 30 seconds. A 5-second verbal warning is given prior to each
3,
sprint.
2, 1. Get set. Good job, Dino.
In this test, the distance from blue line to blue line should be 60 feet. If this differs in your arena, measure up 60 feet and mark the distance with cones. The athlete assumes the start position with both feet behind the line. A coach stands behind the skater and slaps his stick on the ice to signal the start. The player then sprints blue line to blue line. A testing assistant stands even with the far blue line and starts the stopwatch on the sound of the stick on the ice.
Go right through, Lampy, right through. Good job.
Time is stopped as the skater's first foot crosses the far blue line and should be recorded to the nearest tenth of a second. The final test result is the average of 3 attempts.
Hey, Jeff. That's it, right across. Good job. That's it, drive, drive, drive. Right through, speed through.
The stop and start sprint test begins with the skater behind the center red line. One timer is positioned in front of the skater and one behind, so that they have a direct view of the skater crossing the finish line. You can also use automatic timers, as seen here. The skater begins by sprinting left to the blue line, either crossing over at the takeoff or turning and skating forward. At the blue line, the player must stop completely facing the timer with at least one skate over the blue line. Position a line checker at each blue line to ensure this is done. The player then skates to the right to the opposite blue line, stops, then skates left back to the center red line. The timers stop the test when one foot crosses the center red line. Repeat the test, this time starting to the right.
Okay. We're set, self-start when you're ready.
Also, vary players' exact starting positions across the center red line so the same strip of ice is not continually cut up.
Good job, Jeff. Good work. Good time.
That's it. Go, 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 go.
To conduct the modified iron cross agility test, set up cones on both sides of the circle at the face-off hash marks. You'll need one person to record test results, a timer, and 2 line checkers. The athlete's starting position is at the bottom of the circle on the line. The test begins when the athlete leaves the line. Skates to the top of the circle, pivots backward at the top, and skates backward to the face-off dot. He then open pivots to the left, touching the middle dot with his skate. Skates forward to a cone, making a tight turn while facing down ice. Next, he skates across the circle, making a tight turn around a cone. Then skates forward to the face-off dot and pivots backward. He skates backward to the bottom of the circle, stops, and skates forward right through the top of the circle. The timer stops the stopwatch as soon as the athlete's skate breaks the line through the top of the circle. Give each athlete one warm-up trial before beginning the test. The test requires 2 trials with rest between the trials. The best of 2 trials is recorded. The single-leg lateral bound test is conducted in a space at least 2 meters wide and 3 to 4 meters long. A 24-inch piece of green painter's tape is placed on the floor with a point marked in the middle of the tape to measure the distance jumped. The athlete stands behind the tape, with the ball of his jumping foot flat on the floor and parallel to the tape. The foot should be positioned so that the middle of the foot is aligned with the reference point. The non-jumping foot must be off the floor before takeoff. After the athlete is warmed up, he jumps, swinging his arms for momentum and landing on the opposite foot. With chalk or a piece of tape, a mark is made on the floor even with the part of the foot that lands closest to the starting line. A test person checks to see if the landing foot is held stable for approximately 3 seconds. If so, the athlete can use the jumping foot to further stabilize the landing. The athlete must not move the landing foot to ensure accurate recording of distance. The mark is now measured perpendicularly from the reference point out to the area where the athlete lands. The tester then measures over horizontally to the chalk mark or marking tape. The distance is measured to the nearest centimeter, and the best of 2 trials is recorded.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
For the 10-second lateral crossovers test, the athlete stands with the tape line to the left. Feet should be about shoulder width apart and parallel to the line. The ankles, knees, and hips are slightly flexed. The core is engaged, the chest is up, and the shoulders are pulled back. The athlete begins the test by performing a series of lateral crossover movements. The inside foot lifts to start the crossover movement. The outside then lifts and crosses the center line, planting on the opposite side. The trail foot then follows over the line, becoming the outside foot. The athlete performs as many of these movement cycles as possible for 10 seconds. A test observer notes the athlete's posture, movement skills, and coordination. They also give a verbal warning if the athlete touches the line with a foot. After one verbal warning, another touch ends the test. Another person records the number of half cycles completed within the 10 seconds.
16.
The best of 2 trials is recorded. High leg swings are excellent dynamic warm-up exercises for the lower body. Keeping your trunk upright and core strong, slowly swing your opposite leg forward and back in a smooth arc. Make one trip up ice swinging your right leg. Then return swinging your left leg. Next, swing the leg away from the midline of your body and bring it back across the front. Again, work both legs on trips up and down ice.
Wait, Steph, load up that one leg. Nice, slow, controlled tempo.
Once you improve your range of motion, try to shift from swinging the leg to actively controlling the leg through this movement pattern.
That's it. Just slow it down, no momentum.
Perform 10 leg movements each way on separate trips up and down ice.
Good.
Perform side-to-side leg swings while holding onto the boards with one hand for support. After you have mastered this movement, you should perform it without support.
Sit slow and smooth. Keep the knee up, waist tight. Good job.
While gliding on the ice balanced on one leg, bring your knee up and rotate your hips so that your knee is parallel to your shoulder. Avoid rotating or tilting your trunk sideways at the waist.
Nice and wide. Boy, Steph. So same thing, we'll reverse the pattern.
Now reverse the flow of the rotations. Perform both ways 10 times for each leg. Begin trunk rotations by flexing your knees and holding your stick behind your upper back. Slowly and smoothly rotate left and right. As you loosen up, repeat the rotations with more forward lean at the hips. Repeat this exercise for 20 seconds each way.
Keep the leg loaded up, inside edge, nice wide, smooth arc. Drag the puck across and outside the body.
Warm up with wide stick handling by making an exaggerated puck handling pattern with wide loops in a slow and smooth motion.
Puck across and outside the body.
This is performed while making wide C cuts going from right leg to left leg. Build up some speed, then make big wide arc C cuts, working the inside edges of the skates while handling the puck both inside and outside the body. The one-on-one circle scrimmage is an example of a confined space game that develops good anaerobic conditioning. Your emphasis should be on one-on-one tactics in a tight space with puck protection, good stick positioning, and physical play. Position a net and a goaltender on the outside edge of a face-off circle. The player with the puck attempts to score while the other defends the net. Coaches inject pucks after goals, or when the puck escapes the playing area.
Puck. That's it, Dino, eyes up, good job.
2 new players must be ready to jump in on the whistle every 30 seconds. The pair race is an anaerobic exercise that helps players practice their skills in a partially fatigued state.
Head away, cross up. Good wheels, good wheels. Good, stride right through. Nice shot.
On the whistle, two players start together at the face-off dot, and the second pair starts from the opposite corner. Players stop at the center red, back to the blue, and on down the ice. Once players cross the center red line, skaters get a pass from the last two players in line at the boards. The first player to cross the center red line shoots from the top of the slot. The trailing player skates wide down the boards, then moves across the low slot to receive a pass, and shoots.
Head away, cross up.
After shooting, players immediately turn up ice and complete the same pattern down the opposite side.
Nice shot.
The next two pairs of players start at the face-off dot on the coach's whistle.
Yeah.
The power clean is a great exercise to build whole body strength and power. Squat and grasp the bar with a shoulder-width overhand grip, arms outside your knees. Position your shoulders over the bar and maintain a flat back. Begin the upward movement by extending your knees and moving your hips forward. Keep the bar close to your body throughout the lift. Keep pulling the bar up the quadriceps, then explosively jump. At the end of the jump phase, shrug your shoulders and pull up with your arms, leading with your elbows. To finish, rotate your elbows around and under the bar. Rack the bar on the front of your shoulders and lower your hips and knees to absorb the weight.
Set up into a deep position, hips low with a straight back. On the lift, combine powerful leg extension with a very strong pull.
Begin the crossover lunge by placing an Olympic bar across the shoulders, with feet shoulder width apart, chest up, and core set. With the hips and shoulders square, drop your hips and cross the right leg in front of the left leg. Land the right foot on the left panel of the power plyo, keeping the toes pointing forward. Keep your chest up, core set, and hips and shoulders square. Maintain your balance for a moment, then push back up to the starting position. Maintain your balance before doing the crossover lunge to the opposite side.
It's a very common error to rotate the hips and shoulders in towards the planted foot. In that case, moderate the crossover stride length to retain a square trunk.
Begin this exercise by attaching a leapfrog around your waist with the end secured to the base of a squat rack. Assume an athletic position balanced on one leg. Hold the chest up, set your core, and flex your standing knee. Now turn and jump laterally. Keep your balance and drive your arms across the body, making a lateral leap and landing with good upper body control. Hold your balance before bounding back to the starting position. After the initial lateral jump, you can progress this exercise by landing and sticking, then quickly leaping back and landing and sticking.
On this exercise, the tempo defines the results. Pause, hold the outside landing, and quick stop and start the inside landing. On both movements, remember the outside arm drives the action.
For the arm curl shoulder press exercise, assume an athletic position on an extreme balance board. Hold dumbbells at shoulder height, with palms turned in toward your chest. Balance yourself, then perform an overhead shoulder press with one arm and a bicep curl with the other arm. Maintain an athletic stance with one arm completely extended above one shoulder and the other arm extended with the palms turned out. Be sure to keep your chest up and core set. Find another momentary state of balance before bringing both hands back to the starting position.
Dissociating the arm curl shoulder press combo and the balance challenge overloads the nervous system. Maintain a hockey-ready stance and encourage the player to really battle to continually adjust weight distribution, combining control, stability, and arm-shoulder strength.
To begin partner towel rows, assume a low athletic position. Grip the end of a towel with the other arm flexed next to the rib cage. Keep your chest up and core set. Your partner applies resistance while you attempt to pull the extended arm back with a rowing motion. Now reverse roles and apply resistance as your partner attempts to pull back his arm. Repeat this exercise and alternate arms.
Just check the distance. Anchor low into a deep stance. Toggle your hips to generate power, followed immediately by a strong row.
Single leg ball rotations improve hip mobility that is key to edging and skating mechanics. Set up in a push-up position, 1 foot on a stability ball. Move the free leg and knee under the body as the leg on the ball rotates to the inside. Unwind this movement and continue moving the free leg up and over the body. Your goal is to touch the foot to the floor on the opposite side of the body.
Remember that this is a strength exercise that aims for hip mobility, critical to on-ice skating agility. Avoid excessive trunk rotation, aiming to keep the shoulders and chest square to the ground while you pivot through the hips.
The push-pull to rotation exercise helps develop the rotary power necessary for shooting. Assume a split stance with the elbow of your pushing arm up and the elbow of your pulling arm tight to the body. Your pulling hand should grip the slastics with the palm facing in. Begin rowing and pushing while pivoting on your feet. Your whole body should rotate and pivot in the same direction as the pulling arm. The pushing arm finishes at shoulder height. The pulling arm finishes next to the body with the hand at hip height. Notice the pivoting of the back foot. Return to the starting position by reversing all movements.
This athletic and very complex exercise is made simple by teaching 3 progressive movements. First, a row. Second, a row to rotate. And last, add the push. On all movements, be sure to shift your weight forward and back.
This exercise develops rotary strength in a wide range of motion.
Lift the hips, come on. Power through the hips, let's go.
2 partners assume an athletic position holding a hockey stick. They begin the exercise with movement from the hip, rotating the trunk 180 degrees toward the center. One partner counters the resistance and follows the rotary path of the movement. All movement is driven by the legs, hips, and core.
Coaches or athletes applying resistance are best to use a split stride to make sure they can apply enough resistance.
Front raise repeats develop power in the shoulders and legs for powerful open ice hits. Begin in a low athletic position, holding dumbbells at knee height, palms turned inward. Begin the lifting from the legs and hips while performing a front raise. Flex at the shoulder and end on the toes with dumbbells slightly higher than shoulder height. After a brief pause in the top position, lower the weights back to the starting position.
Lower the arms and legs together down to a deep position and then power back up with triple extension.
This exercise develops the strength needed to contain opponents. Begin in an athletic position. Hold an Olympic bar at arm's length, directly in the midline of the body. Set your core and bend your arm slightly at the elbow. Keeping the elbow up, step laterally to the side, loading the leg and flexing the arm until the hand is in line with the chest. Begin the movement with the legs and perform a pressing motion, stepping laterally back to the starting position. The bar and body will travel from and back to the midline. Once you can switch the bar from hand to hand and get your body under the bar, begin to toss the bar from hand to hand. Make sure to shift the body weight under the bar and keep the hand close to the shoulder to stabilize the catch phase.
A very common error is to rotate the hips away from the bar. Cue players to shift their hips and make sure they get their weight under the bar.
This exercise improves single arm push strength and lower body power. Begin in a staggered athletic position with one foot on the Bosu, holding a toner grip at shoulder level with your core set. Step the rear foot onto the Bosu, pressing the arm forward. Keeping the elbow up, step back 45 degrees off the Bosu, loading the rear leg into a low power position. Push off the back leg and press with the arms while stepping back onto the Bosu. Your arm should finish in front of the body in line with the shoulder.
Use the cue load and go to explode off the floor with power. And then slow resist on the return back to the shoulder.
The 2-in, 1-out drill helps develop balance and quick, light feet. Place 2 hurdles 4 feet apart. Stand outside one hurdle on the right leg. Move laterally through the hurdles with high knees. Touch each foot once inside the hurdles and then load the left leg outside the hurdles. Repeat back and forth with a quick stick foot pace. The around, through, and over drill develops lateral power, first step quickness, and agility. For the around part of the drill, shuffle to the end of the hurdles. Step forward with your outside foot past the last hurdle. Without wasting a step, bring the inside leg up and around. Shuffle to the end of the row of hurdles. Plant your outside leg and immediately push off in the opposite direction. Shuffle to the end of the row. Step back with your outside foot past the last hurdle. Without wasting a step, bring the inside leg back and around. Shuffle back to the starting point. For the through part of the drill, come around outside the last hurdle and step forward with your outside leg. Shoot your lead leg back and bring your feet together. Shoot your lead leg forward and again bring your feet together. Continue down the line of hurdles, coming around the outside and back down to the starting point. For the over part of the drill, push off your trail leg and cross your lead leg in front of and over the hurdle. Bring your lead leg over to meet your trail leg. Each foot will contact once between the hurdles. Continue the length of the hurdles. Cross over the last hurdle and plant your outside leg. Return down the line, continuing to cross over each hurdle.
That's it. Keep the head level on the lateral shuffle. Nice low hips. Forward and back, no wasted steps. A nice efficient quick step. And cross over, soft and quick. Pump the arms and quick all the way back.
The partner figure 8 shadow exercise develops first step quickness and effective direction change and reaction skills. One player begins on offense, the other on defense. Both players start in a low athletic position, facing each other in between and behind the cones. The offensive player tries to gain a step on his partner. The defensive player tries to stay with his partner. Players should accelerate through the middle of the cones using quick steps. When the players reach the cone, they should stay low and pivot backward to keep facing their opponent. Then pivot back to forward with a backward crossover. The crossover is performed by pushing off with the outside leg and accelerating forward, leading with the inside leg. Continue the same pattern through the cone on the other side or until the offensive player changes direction. The offensive player may reverse direction at any time through the pattern.
Attaboy, Dino. Around the outside. Around the outside. Good job.
Keep the hips square and head and chest up. Stay low as you shoot through with the lead leg.
Keep going. Attaboy, Dino. Around the outside. Around the outside. Good job.
Come on, fire the feet, quick across.
The 12-hurdle reaction drill develops agility, quick feet, and reaction skills.
Cut. Good cut down the center, good lateral. Here comes a good open step.
On the start cue, sprint up to the first row of hurdles and react to the coach's direction cue. Cross over the first and second hurdle. Balance on the outside of the last hurdle. Then switch directions, crossing over the 4 hurdles to the other end of the row. Balance on the outside of the last hurdle, switch direction, and cross over the 2 hurdles to return to the middle. Move up to the next row. React to the coach's direction cue and repeat the movement pattern. On the coach's final cue, perform an open step and accelerate into open space, crossing the finish line. Keep your hips square, head and chest up, and stay low.
Straight up. All the way through. Cut. Common error with the hockey ready stance at the start. Any change of direction, we want to see the body moving forward. No drop steps and quick feet on the outside. Anytime you're changing direction, make sure you're gaining speed on the direction change. Sharp cuts down the center. Avoid curvilinear run through the center.
This drill can also be performed on ice and can be modified by adding stick handling.
Go, Jeffrey. Sit straight through. Nice job, nice job.
The D-man drill develops first step quickness and improves your ability to change direction. Start on the outside of the back cone. Accelerate forward around the front cone and backpedal to the middle cone. Come around behind the middle cone with open steps and accelerate forward to the other front cone. Come around the cone and backpedal to the back cone. Go around the back cone to the center cone. Finally, go around the center cone and backpedal to the starting cone. Keep the hips forward throughout the drill. The lateral shadow with lateral stepper drill develops lateral leg power and reaction skills.
Chest to chest all the way through.
2 players with lateral steppers around their ankles face each other in between a pair of cones placed 4 feet apart. The coach cues the players to start the drill. One player begins moving side to side, deceptively trying to create space on her partner. The drill ends if there is a mechanical breakdown, or the time set for the drill expires.
And rest. Nice job. Good job. Ready, go.
Athletes should stay low throughout the drill and maintain a distance between their feet that keeps tension on the lateral steppers throughout the movement.
Common error, we see skaters coming up tall, stay nice and low, keeping the quick feet. Stay right there, stay right there. Offensive player moving the feet. On the defensive side, be real efficient. Hold your position and move quick when you need to close that gap. And rest.
Face square now.
The forward and backward double transition drill builds agility and quick feet.
Sit, shoot through.
Stand in the middle of 2 cones. Move forward and backward in and around the cones, facing square to the end zone throughout the pattern.
Good job. Move the feet, move the feet.
Emphasize quick feet. Quick transition from forward to backward to forward. and quick shifting of weight. Use a pattern of skating backward around the outside of the cones and forward up the middle. As a variation, add stick handling with a coach passing to the outside of both cones. This trains receiving passes on both the forehand and backhand sides. You can change the skating pattern by repositioning the cones.
That's it, nice and smooth.
Skate forward around the top cone and backward around the bottom cone.
Jump up, great job.
Continue to
more
repeat
time.
the pattern.
That's it, stay with him, stay with him.
The reaction belt follow the
left.
leader drill develops
Inside,
agility
inside.
and improves reaction time.
5 seconds.
2 players attached with a reaction belt start in a low athletic position, one behind the other. The coach starts the drill and one partner moves forward or side to side, deceptively trying to create space on his partner, while staying within the designated boundary. The other partner attempts to mirror his partner's movement. The drill ends if there is a mechanical breakdown,
We'll change of
the
tempo.
drill time is up, or when the Velcro closure is pulled apart.
Good boy, Lampy, stay right with him, stay with him.
As a variation, you can play follow the leader with the skaters face to face.
QP, stay with him, stay with him. Okay. Five seconds. That's it.
The circle multi-directional quickness drill builds quickness, agility, and first step acceleration.
All the way through.
Begin with a quick start from the bottom of the circle. Skate to the top, stop, and then skate backward to the middle dot. Open pivot to the left and skate forward to the left side of the circle. Stop and skate forward to the right side. Come to another stop, then skate forward back to the face-off dot, and then pivot backward to the bottom of the circle. Once you hit the bottom of the circle, accelerate forward all the way through the circle. Make sure you turn tightly facing up ice so you include both sides of the tight turn.
Straight back. Nice job.
As a variation, add a puck to the drill, or instead of 2-foot stops on the side of the circle, try tight turns.
Eyes up, jump up, jump up. Good job.
The 2-step forward and backward circles drill helps develop better agility and quick feet.
Stay low, chest up, light feet. Good jump in the feet. Chest up,
Skate
light
around
feet.
one circle,
Good jump in the
turning
feet.
from forward to backward, and backward to forward every 2 steps. Always turn facing the inside of the circle using light, quick feet to increase stride frequency. Try changing the direction of your turns sooner than you normally would. Keep pressing to increase foot quickness while staying close to the circle.
Sit outside the circle. Stay low, chest up, light feet. Good jump in the feet.
The shadow box drill develops quick change of direction and reaction skills.
Nice and smooth.
Mark off 2 squares on the ice, one slightly larger than the other. The offensive partner begins at the back of the larger square, facing the defensive player positioned at the front of his square. The offensive player leads the movement around and outside the square to all the cones.
Sit, Jeff. Eyes up, eyes up.
His
Nice
partner
tight turn.
shadows this movement outside the cones.
Job.
Players should stay low throughout the drill and maintain the distance between their feet to allow for changes of direction. The pace and intensity of this drill can be increased as movement skills of the players become more efficient.
Good job, Tino. Hips low, chest up.
This drill is also very effective, performed on dry land. This exercise develops core stability and dynamic balance. Place 2 BOSU balance trainers approximately 3 feet apart. Stand on one BOSU in an athletic ready position, holding Slastics tubing in one hand at shoulder level with the elbow bent at a 90-degree angle. Now jump laterally and land on the second BOSU with both feet. Stick and hold the landing while continuing to keep the tubing out to the side of the body. Do not let the hand come into the shoulder. Hold this position for 1 second and reverse the movement, jumping back to the original BOSU.
You really want players to experience the pull or the force outside the midline. Cue them to keep their hand position well outside the body to overload and expose any weak links in the ankle, hip, core, and shoulder.
Lateral crossover, stick the landing, improves balance and core stability. Balance on the left leg with the knee flexed. Now reach out laterally with the right leg. Drive the back arm across the body to assist the lateral movement. After the right leg plants, cross the left leg over the right leg. The right leg in a cross-under position helps produce more pushing movement. Finish by pushing off the left leg and landing laterally with a positive angle, hips inside the foot position. Repeat back and forth in both directions. You can do an advanced progression of this exercise by lengthening the distance between takeoff and landing.
Begin the drill narrow and increase the width on every stride. 3 main coaches' cues. Achieve triple extension on the lateral push-off. Reach and grab the floor, pull the body across, and really encourage athletes to generate power off of the cross-under stride.
React and sprint tennis ball drops improve first step explosiveness.
Nice start, Tino.
The drill begins with the coach holding a lacrosse ball in each hand about 6 inches higher than the shoulders. Stand square to the coach, with knees slightly flexed and your weight forward on the toes, ready to explode. As the ball leaves the coach's hand, try to catch the ball after only 1 bounce. Perform this drill with no stick and use strong edging for a stationary start.
Good aggressive edge. Nice start.
Use the cue, drop and go, to remind yourself to load your legs in place for a quicker start. As a variation on this exercise, follow the same procedures, but use a sideways start.
Good start, Jeff. Good start. Good way. Woohoo!
The red to blue stop and start race helps develop quickness, agility, and first step acceleration. Start on the blue line with the face-off dot. Have another player start in the same position, but on the other side of the ice. On the whistle, sprint to the red line. Complete a 2-foot stop, accelerate back to where you started, and complete another 2-foot stop. Then accelerate back to the red line, and complete a third 2-foot stop. The coach lays a puck in the middle of the ice. Race for the puck and play one-on-one to the net. All stops should be facing the middle of the ice and should be in a straight line.
Play it! Nice job.
2-foot hurdle zigzag hops develop leg quickness, lateral movement, and counter movement speed. Line up 10 micro hurdles turned end to end. Stand with the feet close together, knees flexed. Hop down the hurdles in a zigzag pattern. Land close to the hurdle and make low jumps to increase foot quickness.
Common errors include feet landing on the floor at different times, arms out of control, and attacking the ground with the feet. Brace the core, stay strong, light touch on the floor with good controlled arms.
As a variation, try jumping and landing as far from the hurdles as possible.
Achieve a positive angle, landing the feet outside the hips on each landing.
The hurdle maze drill develops leg power and quickness. Set up a number of micro hurdles facing forward and sideways. Stand in an athletic position beside the first hurdle with arms ready to lead the movement. Jump with both feet over each hurdle in the maze, facing forward. Every landing and takeoff should be done at the same time. The feet should always stay hip width apart.
Common errors include landing too aggressively on the floor. Athletes will tend to attack the floor. Land soft, light, but quick and deep, and ensure full triple extension across the hips, knee, and ankle for good power.
As a variation, change the focus from deep jumps to feet fast off the floor.
Don't worry about stride power on this variation. Go after quick coupling, just popping the feet off the floor, moving through the hurdles as quickly as possible with sharp cuts on any direction change.
The drill can also be made more difficult by using single leg hops.
Common errors include excessive arm movement to compensate for instability. Make sure the athlete can land without a stutter step and move through the hurdles smoothly.
The lateral 2-in, 2-out drill is very effective in developing footwork quickness. Begin the drill by standing with both feet outside the first rung and toes parallel to the rung. Keep your shoulders back, core set, and eyes up looking down the ladder. Place one foot into the rung followed by the second foot. Step out of the ladder with the first foot, followed by the second foot, so you are now outside the ladder again, just below the second rung. Continue this pattern all the way down the ladder. Be sure to switch your starting leg so both right and left feet are used as a lead foot.
In hockey on the ice, we prefer athletes to keep their eyes up, aware of the periphery. But it's unrealistic in quick feet drills to have the eyes up through the whole drill. Allow your athletes to check at their feet, focus on pure, rapid foot quickness, and then encourage them to look up any chance they can.
As a variation, change the tempo, skipping one rung with a lateral push-off. Stay close to the ladder and work on faster footwork and softer contacts with the floor.
The most common error is to stay with a pace athletes know they can coordinate successfully to avoid failing in front of their peers. Encourage them to push the boundaries of speed, move through at a faster pace.
The quick feet narrow shuffle develops footwork quickness with more complex movements. Begin with one foot inside the first ladder rung. The second foot steps into the rung beside the first foot. The first foot now steps out of the ladder and the second foot moves up to the next rung. The first foot joins the second foot inside the second rung. The second foot steps outside the ladder and first foot moves up to the third rung. This pattern continues down the length of the ladder. Once you have mastered this movement pattern, you can further improve your footwork skills by increasing the lateral movements outside of the ladder. The single leg zigzag drill improves balance and quickness. Start on one foot outside the ladder. Hop into the first rung, hop diagonally outside the second rung, and then diagonally back into the third rung. Continue this pattern all the way down the ladder, hopping into every other rung as quickly as possible. Try to keep your hips and shoulders square to the ladder and your core stable. The foot should land outside of the hip, creating a positive body angle.
Cue your athletes to keep their center of mass and hips close to the ladder and foot landing outside the hips, working the landing on the inside, outside edge of the foot, similar to on-ice edge work.
As a variation, you can hop wider outside the ladder. Crossovers are great for developing lightning-quick footwork and lateral movement. Begin by standing to the right of the first ladder rung. With the right foot, cross over into the ladder. With the left foot, step to the outside of the second rung. With the right foot, step out beside the left foot on the left side of the ladder. To help remember this pattern of steps, you can use the cue words cross step in, 2 steps out. Now cross the left foot into the third rung. Continue the pattern quickly down the ladder, crossing into every other rung. This drill can also be progressed by increasing the lateral distance of the crossovers and changing the tempo of the steps. The tempo should be quick, quick, stick.
Remember, the crossover pattern is about foot turnover, not the distance produced. But on the variation, integrate more stride power to train lateral stops.
The T-drill improves balance and develops multi-directional explosive movement skills. Assume an athletic-ready position with feet shoulder-width apart. Jump off the Bosu and land softly to the left of the Bosu. Now quickly pop off the floor, change direction, and jump back onto the Bosu. Repeat this sequence, but jump to the right of the Bosu. Complete the T pattern by jumping onto the Bosu, then jumping to the back.
Ensure the player adheres to the tempo. Stick, hold, and pause on the Bosu so you can focus on being quick off the floor. Keep the feet stacked and avoid beating up the floor. Land soft but quick.
You can add reaction skills to this drill by shadowing the changes in direction or tempo made by a coach or another athlete.
That's it. Good, yeah, just keep driving, keep driving. Good, long, powerful stride. Great job.
Tandem toe resisted sprints develop stride power and length. Two athletes in a low athletic body position, chest up, core set, are attached with a tandem toe. Begin the sprints by driving your body forward using your arms. The resisting partner provides resistance without stopping your forward progress or causing a breakdown in form. Keep your core set throughout the movement.
Long, powerful strides. Good arms, good arms.
You can vary the intensity of this drill by increasing or decreasing the distance, time, or resistance.
Great job.
The resisting partner will initially glide to allow the pulling player to overcome the resistance of his own weight. The resisting partner can then add more resistance by dragging one skate. Parachute sprints develop stride power and stride length.
That's it. Good arms. Long strides, long strides. Attaboy, stay low, stay low.
Begin in a low athletic body position, chest up, core set. As you begin the forward movement, have a teammate or coach throw the parachute behind you so that it fills with air. Drive your body forward using your arms.
That's it. Good arm drive. Stay nice and low.
You can vary this drill by increasing or decreasing the distance, time, or resistance. Parachute lateral crossovers develop lateral stride power and stride length.
Looks good, looks good.
Assume a low athletic body position, chest up, core set. Begin with a strong crossover step and move laterally by crossing over and pushing off. Throw the parachute laterally to allow it to fill with air. Drive your arms across your body as you travel. You can also vary this drill by increasing or decreasing the distance, time, or resistance. Let goes help you develop an explosive stride and the ability to quickly change your speed. Run or skate with a power harness that provides resistance but not too much so as to alter your running or skating mechanics. After 5 or 6 strides, your partner yells "go" and releases the resistance. The overspeed tubing sideways start drill develops explosive acceleration and agility. Stand sideways to the direction of travel with a coach or teammate holding the pre-stretched slastics overspeed tubing. On the whistle, cross over, turn, and explode toward the coach. The overspeed tubing forward drill increases stride frequency, acceleration, and speed. Attach slastics overspeed tubing and assume a ready position with knees flexed and hips low. Have a coach or teammate pull the tubing into a stretched position.
Explode here now.
On the whistle, accelerate straight forward. The resistor moves in the same direction to keep the tubing stretched and lengthen the time you remain in an overspeed environment. This resisted speed overspeed drill develops acceleration, stride power, agility, and direction change. The coach holds the end of the Slastics overspeed tubing and moves across the ice. On the coach's whistle, skate in overspeed forward to position 1. When you get near the coach and the tubing relaxes, skate with resisted speed on a diagonal angle backward to position 2. Repeat these movements across the ice.
Nice finish. Shot.
To help keep the tubing out of the path of travel, maintain enough separation between yourself and the coach and begin with a short enough portion of the tubing.
That's good.
You can reverse this pattern, skating forward away from your coach and backward in overspeed once you're sure ice is clear. Resisted power pivots help improve stride power, stride frequency, and hip power. Set up cones so you will skate side to side around each cone in a zigzag pattern.
Stay low. Power out, come on, power out. That's it.
A coach or partner holds the end of the tandem tow harness and provides resistance while you power around each cone.
Power out, come on, power out. That's it.